Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Q&A for living in the private. If you guys submitted anything via email, I'm looking at my email for whatever reason. I'm having an issue. Do me a favor, David. I know you always submit me something. David, and whoever else is starting off listening, make sure that you submit your questions to the Q&A here or to the live chat over on YouTube. I'm going to say this message a couple times. Don't get upset with me. I just don't have the questions in front of me, and I want to make sure we get to all the questions. So, if I repeat myself as people are joining us, everyone calm down. It's okay. Hey, welcome. I had a great few days. Um, I got to hang out with a client buddy, kind of like a number two guy to Tony Robbins. He is a very inspirational, very motivational, all over the internet kind of guy. And he opened up my eyes to a lot of things in the last couple of days. For the most part, the value of what we bring. This is a guy that's just, we have a lot of high value clients, and I'm not saying that the clients that don't make a lot of money, they're not of value. You guys are all equally important to me, and you know that. But the high value clients, high dig clients, air jet owning kind of people, um, it's one of those things when they hop in their plane or they come out or whatever, and they want to see me and they want to sit down and they want to fast track this. Um, we walked him right through getting accounts opened up, foundation done, passport submitted, figured out how to do all that stuff. No appointment, walking in to the courthouse in Santa Ana, California, and just submitting it. I got to be frank with you. I had a really good time. I had a good time learning a lot about us as what we need to be working on, changing customer support. And 2026 is probably going to be one of the busiest years of my life because we're revamping everything, and I need as much help as I can from people that are willing to help. We need to convert videos. We need to translate videos into an AI Q&A. We need to then create a knowledge-based system based on that structure, based on putting it into multiple websites. We need to create an automated system that'll kick documents out automatically based on a hierarchy of where people are in learning and training on how to come out. And it keeps going on. And we're getting super close to a lot of those things, but we're also needing more help. And we're entertaining trying to take all of that on at once. All the while, we're watching the world kind of come to like today, California. Yesterday and today we've had this weird fog. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it just started raining, but the fog hung out all day, even in the middle of the day. And I've never seen fog like this, especially fog that makes the interior of my car whenever we go for a drive, say 40, 50, 100 particles per million, and that the air is really unhealthy. So I have to turn on the reoccurring air in my car, get the filtration on, put on the ionizer, and inside the car, it's like 5 particles per million. Outside of the car, it's like 50 to 100. And so God bless, I got the ability to do a car that has a filtration system in it, right? I mean, it kind of sucks when you don't have that. In every room in my house right now, I got air filtration on high, like right behind me. I got it on high because I don't want to breathe bad air that's being pumped in from whatever. But I unequivocally have proof that when this fog is here, when the chemtrails are going, it's really high in healthy air. And then when they're gone, the air is clean and the air is healthy. And I'm like, it's not a conspiracy anymore. It's not like it doesn't exist in the law, and it's not like they're not trying to do it right in front of our eyes. It's here and whatever, but I've had to put up with it. But we had a few great days. And the last day, the chemtrails hit really hard. Then the fog hit, and then the fog hits again the next day, and now it's raining again. Do with that what you will. I don't want to be a conspiracy nut job. All I'm doing is telling you I did find in the law where chemtrails exist in city, county, state, federal, international law, where they talk about doing the spraying of aluminum, barium, strontium over the world for the purposes of deflecting the sun to cool the earth because, again, we're overheating with all of our CO2 and all of our stuff. We're overheating the earth. And yes, I'm being you know, having fun with that narrative. It just blows my mind. And I don't want to get sick and I don't want to breathe in that stuff and I don't want to become unhealthy. So I'm trying to figure out where do we live? And then we start hearing about these massive earthquakes happening. You start hearing about Yellowstone and how all the bears and wolves and mountain lions are running out of Yellowstone because everything is shaking and boiling up. And like, God, where's this world going? Like, what's really happening in this world that, you know, I don't know. I just don't, I'm not going to stand in fear. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep working towards the higher goal. And that's all I got. But I do want to share with you guys, His Advocates is really working hard at helping people to understand the mission call of being what it is to be a believer, but to be a strong believer and to understand truly what the word says about our walks and what it doesn't say about our walks. And I'm working hard at training people on that element of walking. So we've created a new thing this year for people to be inspired. And a lot of that inspiration is coming from my life experiences, and a lot of that motivation and talk and discussion point is something that I watched the path that God took me on, and I watched the path that I had to go through, and I looked at all the ups and downs, and I'm telling a story about what it means to be here and what it means to be a strong believer and what it means to do to stand up against tyranny. Because it's not all that in a bag of chips. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, and the Word of God is very clear, and all we have to do is kind of listen to it and stay on the path, and it blows my mind at what we're able to do. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you. We have quite a bit of people Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, showing up and getting inspired. And we have quite a bit of people following up with it during the week as we post them on hisadvocates.org for people to listen to. Got to hear a couple today, a man and a woman, not a couple, brother and sister in the Lord, and they were inspired. That's all I wanted, and that's all I wanted to hear because that's my motivation is that I'm helping somebody bridge a gap in this world of how to be a better believer. Because I think they've trained us to be weak sauce, turn the other cheek kind of a thing, and completely misunderstanding scripture and the translation of scriptures these days in a lot of different respects. Key scripture is wrong. There, I said it. And I'm not a nut job, and it's okay. And the King James is not accurate. Like a lot of people think it's 99%, and then just steer people off on the important scriptures that lead them back to the authority of God instead of the authority of man instead of the authority of God. And let's make people fear man and the authority of man, and let's not make people fear the authority of God like we really should be doing. Because we in this nation, our rights come from God everywhere in the world. They come from God. But we here in this nation specifically wrote it out. Our rights are unalienable from God. And all the trickery and stuff that went into bridging what we are in this nation, which is united under God, states being people of America, the element of developing the corporation, making people believe that we're subservient under government with our pastors promoting it and pushing it, that stops. That's over. And I know it's going to continue, but it's over from the standpoint that the cat is out of the bag, that we now know that it just took a couple of things to be translated properly instead of improperly, like Romans 13, 2 Peter 2:13, so that we can know that we are not to stand under anything other than God unless we choose in this nation to be a subservient or to be a bondservant or to be under man. And that's really what you are as a U.S. citizen. You are not the same as a citizen of the United States of America. And that's what this book here talks about. What does it mean to be an American? We show in this book, you got to go to Amazon and you put my name in, Kelby Smith, or put what does it mean to be an American and my name, and you'll find the book. That book distinguishes where in the law it says what I say. And it shows people that we're not sovereign citizens trying to pretend to be free or to be sovereign and not, and being under the jurisdiction of man. That literally our founders were under God. Our founders were state of the union citizens, and they were not United States citizens. The United States really didn't even grab jurisdiction over the people until 1871 under the 14th Amendment. And so then 1933, being employees of the corporation, this is the dastardly thing. And if you don't think this is true, you need to figure this out because I talk about it in the book. In 1933, they literally rolled over everybody with the Buck Act, Trading with the Enemy Act, Emergency War Powers Act, the Social Security Administrative Act. In the Trading with the Enemy Act, they literally added the United States citizen to the Emergency War Powers Act, which was the Trading with the Enemy Act in 1917, and made you on the list, meaning added you to the list of enemies as a U.S. citizen of the United States. Don't think so? Really? Okay. Do with that what you will. Read the act. And why is it specifically talking to U.S. citizens? Because you, as a U.S. citizen, are now considered an enemy combatant and belligerent against the United States, which is why they are able to do what they do, because they made a bankruptcy and they made the people employees, Social Security Administrative Act, and they, under that authority, and they made the judges the trustees, and under that authority, they gave everybody in everybody in the United States an opportunity for employment. So come on, become an employee of the United States, meaning become a United States citizen. And everybody that got a social security number, their employment ID number, everybody that became an employee because they were desperate, they had no food, they had a harder lifestyle from 29 to 33. Why? Well, because there was a big stock market crash by design and people were not able to eat, function, work, or anything. And so it sounded really grand for people to have the opportunity to make money, have this retirement called Social Security guaranteed by the government by simply filling out and agreeing to do this. And that's literally what happened. You became the surety and the collateral against the debt of the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy was HJR 192. And from that time period to present day, they have stolen everything from the people. And the corporations are all masquerading like it isn't what it is, and it is. And then they started going after every single country through the UN, through the monetary systems, the IMF, making loans to countries, just like the word says, the word of God, where deals were done with kings, where sexual immorality took place worldwide, and where the kings created the equivalent identity to their people known as a birth certificate. And those countries all pledged their birth certificates under the United States, under the Securities and Exchange Commission, to monetize the people of all nations under the whore called the United States. And it goes much, much deeper. But the last few days, I realized the value of what we are and what we do and what we have as his advocates. I now know that every person I bring across our table, I'm not only freeing them, I'm not only giving them strategies of how to take what has been pledged to the devil, if you will, or pledged to whatever, because the structure to which everybody's talking about, they have double and triple indemnified to make sure that, they, let me give you an example. Somebody said, why don't we use the money that they are pledging off of our birth certificates? Why don't we use that to pay off the houses? Why don't we use that for this? Why don't we use that for that? Well, his advocates knows it exists. I know it exists, but I'm called to come out, and I really don't want to partake in that. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't play ball in the realm of that. But let me ask you something. And this is what I said to the woman, extremely nice woman. This is what I said. I said, you pay it off and you put it in your name, or you don't have the deed right on your home, it still belongs to them. Unfortunately, when we record anything in our own personal name or in the name of a corporation, those are both owned and trademarked by the United States. I get it. We have figured out a way around that. I get it. We create private foundations, or we can go make a claim and trademark our own names. I get it. I understand all that. The reality is, unless you can take possession of the BC and remove it from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the ownership element of the name is wanted or wanting. You're not going to have full control or access, because then you're not controlling somebody that's monetizing that name, and so on and so forth. Secondly, why not just create a foundation under God, private, unregistered, which has all the elements of privacy and security and law protecting it, both man's law and God's law, and pledge everything into that? And it goes deeper. Make your deeds appropriate, um, allodial title equivalent, where it is in the foundation. It was bought by gold, by hand, no address for mailing purposes, no Federal Reserve notes attached, making it a party to the transaction, making him a third party owner. No using of a name, no using of a corporate name as a grantee. Use the foundation name. No using a legal description on the deed. That is air. Use meets and bounds. That is land. No using joint tenants, tenants in common, the renters vesting. You don't want to vest as a renter. You want to vest as fee simple absolute. That's free. I gave you just right now. But the most important thing is an acceptance of the deed. 6 individual, very separate things, if you want to own your home, are required on a deed, and a 7th is the foundation. You need the foundation. So his advocates, what we do for people is, people that go through the LPP, we give them a deed template that they can have for free, so that they can go find the meets and bounds from a previously recorded deed relating to their home. Now they have a foundation because they're in the living in the private program, and they can take their property that is air and they can convert it to a meets and bounds and absolute tenure and title vesting, called fee simple absolute. That means to the center of the earth you own, and that's what you bought. And you can re-record, not register, because you're taking a document to the registrar known as a normal deed, and you record something in your name that's really their name, and you record it as a tenant, showing you're a joint tenant or a tenant in common. You've bought some air, and you put all this money down, and you want to pay all these taxes, and so they take that deed, they monetize it, and it's now an asset of the United States. This is done completely in trickery, using legalese, and it's right under the curtain and the skirt of the smell of our nose, and we don't do anything about it as a nation. When I hear this even remotely discussed at the platform of the President of the United States, of the fraud and the trickery and the deception, then I'll know he's in my corner. When I hear it being discussed that we're going to smoke these agencies that are killing these people with this fog outside, that are killing people with these shots, that are killing people. When I hear that at the top levels of this country, then I will know that he is on our side and I will thank God for him. I am not thanking God for him right now because he's touting the death and marching people into the death. Whether you want to believe it or not, you need to understand that what is being presented and what is Congress is delivering is two separate things. And oh, I know he doesn't have control of Congress. Oh, okay. He's proud of them. He's proud of the pharmas. He's proud of these people. But we are failing for a lack of knowledge in a lot of different respects on the simple things like how to record a deed. So if you take the proper deed and you go down to the county recorder's office, which also happens to be the registrar, and your deed isn't properly recorded and you got air on it, and meaning you're putting a legal description on it. You got a joint tenant on it, you're putting yourself as a renter. You know, you got your name on it. You don't do a grant deed acceptance. You just have the grantor signature on the deed. There's like 6 different elements that need to be perfected on the old school deeds that were recorded in the 16, 17, and 1800s of this nation that we should be doing today, that we should be changing our deeds today. And his advocates, I'm proud to say, is helping people to do that and record land in a foundation name with the proper vesting, using gold and using all the proper terms, and in doing a grantee signature where the consummation of the deal is absolute. And guess what? That's a recordable instrument only. It is not a registerable instrument. It's a recordable instrument. And so these are the things to which we fell. By the way, if you're coming on, post your questions to the Q&A. I don't have access to email right now on my computer for whatever reason. I've been having some computer issues lately. And this just happened about an hour ago. It just started asking me for a password. I put the password in, it's not working. So go ahead and post your Q&A questions into here under Q&A, or if you're on the YouTube live, post them over there. I will get to your questions. Super important for me to answer your questions, but I do not have a preset of questions that I can help you with right now. Awesome, thank you. I've been avid. I can tell you the atmosphere has affected the growth of my vegetables big time in the last 25 years. Thank you. I know, I agree. All right. So, in having this guy come into my life a year ago, and now him flying out and getting together with me, I got more accomplished with him in a few hours. It just has led me to think and rethink how we are doing this as his advocates. I think that we are going to engage people that have the means at a level to which will help people that don't have the means get through this a lot quicker and for a lot less. I think that the people that have the means are going to pay a different price point for sure. But I also think the service levels are going to change for those types of people because they're paying for it. I'm bringing this to your attention because I was able to accomplish more hands-on work with this guy. And I would love to, by the way, this guy's like, I can put you in front of a room of 10,000 people. I just need to understand this. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Um, what he doesn't know is how this exactly rolls out. And so I had to do a lot of questions and answers. And it's a guy that's been tagged along with me for a year now, and he just pulled the trigger. But I got done with him what it takes most people weeks to do in about 3 hours. And so we printed all of his docs. We got them all notarized. We printed out the foundation, got it notarized, got it witnessed. Made the appointment at the bank, went and opened up the bank account, walked into the county clerk, did the passport, did everything, got him back to his plane, flew home. That's an important thing to understand because I'm like, okay, we should be doing this for a lot more people. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like and how can we do it cheaper where maybe I have a room of 500 to 1,000 people and we bring a bunch of printers and we are able to address people on a mass basis where they can work on a work printing their docs to a particular printer, and they have access to our table, our database, and they can see all the information is correct. And then before they press print, we take them through a checklist. Is this correct, correct, correct? And do you understand this, this, and this? And then we let them print. And now they have their docs. And then we help them establish bank accounts and help them establish going to the passport centers and all that stuff. Um, the question is, that's different than doing this one-on-one. And I think that the element of doing it one-on-one with somebody really was a game changer. And here was the question I asked him. I said, what is this worth to you? He said, Kelby, I'm going to be saving a lot of money, a lot. Just the tax element alone. And I said, no, I get it. What is it worth to you? And he said, let me say it to you this way. I equate what you're doing in the realm of business and freedom to what Tony does in the realm of freeing a mind. He said, Tony, you can't get, I'm not saying I'm Tony. He said, I can't get Tony to do a 1 hour presentation for $1 million. I'm like, wow. Tony will turn down a presentation for $1 million for 1 hour. I remember 25, 30 years ago, I could get Tony for $25,000 for a dinner or something like that. Now people are in a club where they pay $1 million a year just to see Tony of once a month, once every other month for an hour or two and ask group level questions. And then another bunch of people spend a lot. I'm saying this to you guys because I'm trying to figure out a way to cost base this to the end users that can't afford this. And I'm trying to figure out how to help the people with means and at the same time be able to cover the expenses necessary to run a business with a ministerial heart and a ministerial mindset. It's not easy. There's a lot of delicate balancing there. But what it did show me was even with all the instructions and all the knowledge base, there's still people constantly. We've now done probably 3,000 plus questions. There's still people that don't know the nuances of how to get through some basic stuff. And it's basic to me because I've done it, I've lived it, I've helped a bunch of people, but it's not basic to another individual. And I get it. And I got to figure that out. And I'm working on it. But everybody is different. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody feels the same, learns the same, responds the same, retains the same. Everybody is different. So it's kind of hard to figure that component out of how to make this for the layman and make it very easy. But let's get to some questions. And first question, is there a problem with using multiple addresses for a foundation in multiple states? Nope. Second question, does the foundation owning land with fee simple title strategy work if I were to maintain my U.S. citizenship in short term? Yep. I'm clear that there would be no protection Kevlar for me personally, but I'm still holding the office of the person. That'd be correct, Michael. I'm not going to tell you any different. The foundation stands on its own as jurisdiction under God, especially if you have the proper deed recorded. Next question. Back when I was getting started with the sales team, I was told that there would be a high net worth clients owning 40 million land plus home that were not paying taxes. A few weeks ago, you mentioned in Q&A, if we want to own land and not pay property taxes, then we need to buckle up and expect a fight. Just wondering which one it is. Does his advocates have a path of land ownership? It's both. There are times people are just let out. There's times where people have to file a case. They do not want to make a case precedence of it. So after the filing of the case, generally there's a settlement and they get released. And there is clients with a high net worth, $42,000 a year in taxes, wrote the forward in my book, no longer paying taxes on their house, 27,000 square feet, and it's because it's considered a church, period. And that exemption is absolute. It's not going to be easy. They're not going to let everybody out. And sometimes people will walk, especially the ones on a smaller basis. They're going to walk free and clear. They're not going to have a fight. And there's some people that are going to have a medium fight. Some people are going to have a heavyweight fight. It just depends on the county and what they're willing to do. There's no level, middle, equal ground with 3,200 county recorders with different rules and strategies on each one and different recorders for each one. There's no way. Next question. I'm in the process of learning how to flip raw land into a land broker while I'm going through the LPP. In public, we are supposed to register with the county. Now that I'm in the process of moving into the private, how do I bypass registration process with the county without getting into legal issues? Sean, um, if you're flipping land, and then meaning you're saying I'm in the process of learning how to flip raw land as a land broker while going through the LPP. So if you're flipping land, you don't need to record land. First and foremost, as a broker in the state of California, one of the questions on the exam, are you required to record a deed in the county recorder upon a sale? And the answer is no. You're not required to register or record anything. As a matter of fact, you got to go look up the definition of counter deed. And it's a private deed held that when presented trumps the public side recorded deed. So, Sean, if you ever want to have a conversation or a consult, just get together with me. There's all kinds of ways to hold property in private while you retain control. I did the whole set of docs. Um, and it's super important to understand that process. Part of it's going to be a where you have, God, I'm blanking on the name. Where you have control, lawful control over the finances relating to the note and the deed. Why am I blanking on the name? Um, Power of attorney, limited power of attorney. And but you can hold on to a deed while you're flipping it, and then or you can flip it into the foundation and record. If it were me and I was flipping land, I would just get a series of docs that allow you to do what you do without having to record the new deed. And then I would sell the new deed um, with what have you, unrecorded new deed, because it's notarized, it's signed, and you got all uh, the adjoining paperwork with the deed showing that you have control over the deed of trust and the note, if there is a note. And then you can sell that to anybody, and they can record the new deed all day long. They're going to record this one and this one simultaneously, but it's easy. It's people that flip mostly do it that way. And the difference is knowing how to do it in the private. That's all. Um, I'm in the LPP starting phase 2 now. Is it worth giving up my social security number altogether? Um, it's not your social, it belongs to the BC. I have not given it up as it's not my authority. I've taken control over it as the beneficiary, which you'll understand when you read our docs as you proceed forward. Second portion of the question. I finally got my wife to remove the mailbox, but I was sent mail that was sent to my name, but it was advertising from a credit card company. I think I sent it all back, but should I do another revocation to post office just to be safe? I would do it maybe when you're completely done with the LPP. Don't worry about the removal of the office of the person, which is what I think you meant to say, until you are done. The hardest part of the living in the private is getting people to stop mailing you through the United States Post Office using your name. That's the hardest part because it's very easy to convert people into um, getting their mail through a foundation. And it's just generally a family member or a bank or that makes it hard because they continue to send it to my personal name. So what you do is you take it, you open it up because you're allowed to open up your mail. You take a picture of it, you reseal it, and you return to sender it, meaning you stamp it, return to sender, no such person exists. Then you pay the bill and you let them call you, hey, I got to return to sender, but the bill's paid, so you don't really care. You're not going to be late. But then they call you and say, look, 4 or 5 times I told you, mail it to the foundation name. It's not going to get to me. Um, and or stop mailing me and email it to me. So getting it to your email is different than using the United States Post Office. So try to get things digitalized as much as possible. Amazon, you can have come to your house in care of a foundation name. Amazon's really good about that. Leaving your name completely off it. You control the shipping name and address, and they will not add your name. So things from Amazon can continue to come to your house, even without a mailbox. You may want to put some numbers on your house. Like for me, again, privacy is important. I don't want people to knock on my door, so I have fences. Can't get in. I don't have a doorbell on the fences. I do not trespass on the front fence, do not trespass on the back fence. Two different streets. Uh, I People that deliver, I got a big mailbox. I put it in the mailbox, and it's all care of the foundation name. Nobody knows who lives here. I'm sure the federal government knows exactly where my GPS is when I turn it on, but nobody knows who lives here. But what we're trying to do is not privacy from being found, because I'm not worried about being found. I'm worried about what I've read in a warrant or an indictment. I want to make sure that his advocates members understand how important U.S. mail is in bringing jurisdiction. Also, how important accounts are, where you say I'm a U.S. citizen in bringing jurisdiction. And so that passport is critical. Getting the certified copies of the passport, changing the elements of how we receive mail, super important. Just have everybody send it to your email or in care of the foundation, and that's it. And you can have it go anywhere in care of the foundation. You can have it go to your mom's house in care of the foundation. But anything that comes to your name, pop it open, take a picture, close it, pay the bill if it's a bill, return to sender, no such person exists. All right, Dad. So fee simple absolute is better than warranty deed. Uh, a fee simple absolute is not the name of your deed. Warranty deed or grant deed are the names of the deed. Fee simple absolute is better than joint tenant, tenant in common. It's the vesting that goes onto the deed of the style to which you hold title. Vesting means how to label you as a title holder. What kind of title do you have? It's like a lease on a car or an ownership of a car. A lease on a car would be joint tenant. Ownership of a car would be purchasing a vehicle. That would mean fee simple absolute because you own the whole vehicle, everything that's in it. And that's so it's the vesting is fee simple absolute. Next question. Hunting licenses, recommendations for how to apply for hunting tags. We hunt in Colorado on Forest Service land, no tagged deer or elk. Ooh, all public land. Yes, we currently have contracts with our name, SS number, and home addresses on the contracts. That's rough, Mark. That's what you're asking me. It's public land, which truly is not public, but I get it. I heard what you said, of whether or not you should kill untagged or elk and deer that are not tagged, which is great, you know. And then you got to go open the app on your phone and you got to describe, what you've killed and what your quote unquote license. Um, Applying for the license is simple, okay? If you want one and if you need one. I know you didn't ask me, should I have the license? You said, how do I get the license? But I'm going to say, on your land, do you need a license? And if a deer comes in with a tag and that tag under color of law kind of means it's theirs and you kill it, it's really a tag slash DPS. They're going to know by the tag not moving and are staying in its same location for a period of time, that there's something going on. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be like a vet with one of those devices. You're going to see the tag, you got to put the tag, but you're also going to have to be a vet scanning the body to make sure nothing's implanted on it. There's no chip on it to where they would know. And you would have to, you know, if it were me, I'd drive that tag somewhere on a neighbor's property and then crush it there, on somebody you don't like. I don't know. I don't know how I don't want to tell you to break the law or the code, but how to apply is easy. You're going to use your name, you're going to put it in all caps, you're going to use the word "by" in front of your name on the signature and do the full reservation of rights, um, and sign normally. So the purpose for the word "by" is the all caps name. Your all caps name is the birth certificate. You are in signifying that you are not that person, and you are the representing party with the word "by," and you're doing your full signature, and then you're doing a full non-assumpted, all rights reserved underneath, very small stamp, and like here's mine. Can you all see it? So it's about 5 font, ARR non-assumpted without prejudice. So if I need to sign something, government, real small, put this just above the line. I'll use the word "by" in front of my name and I sign it. What am I signing and saying with this? There is no contract. There is no contract, and I'm reserving all my rights without prejudice. That's strong. Okay. Go hunt your animals. Keep your God-given unalienable rights. You're not a subservient for filling out a contract to hunt animals on public land. If it were me, I would document every kill and do what you got to do. If it were me on my land, I'd kill whatever I wanted to and bury the rest. Hope that helps. When doing recording the deed, should they ask you about a mortgage amount or charge doc stamp fees calculated from the remaining self-disclosed mortgage balance? So when recording the deed, sometimes county recorders will have a questionnaire. And this is why I tell people, if you've purchased the deed from us, we'll help you with the information on how to get it properly recorded. And if you're in the living in the private program, we will actually give you a deed template that you can utilize. You can create the deed and then we'll support you through it the best we can to get it recorded. There's going to be questions that you need to fill out to the best of your ability and post them to us. If you're in the LPP and you're a VIP member, it's not a problem. We're going to tell you, we're going to go through there and say, do this, do this, do this, and then present that with the deed. And they will record it. I just helped a friend Jack, he's probably on right now. Super excited because he was able to get his homes in the foundation and land in the foundation. And I helped him fill out the most confusing recorder's information. It was very confusing. So I was like, why are you asking for my help? And he let me read it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I get it. People need help in getting those things filled out and recorded. Just do your best, get them filled out, and then post it to a ticket with us, and we'll do our best to help you out. Removing signatures from agreements. What are the recommended? What is recommended for my concealed carry permit in Colorado? And do you have a letter for that? So let me ask you this, Mark. Do you want to remove your signature from the concealed carry, or do you want to notice them of your status as a state citizen in the correction on the application that you're a citizen of the United States of America and not the United States, and to append that to your application? Because that's probably better off for you, because what we're talking about is jurisdiction over you. So if you were to certify to them, mail this doc, which we have for you, you can please append this to my original application for carrying a concealed weapon in Colorado. As there is an error on the application, I'm correcting the application record. And then they will take that and put it in with your application as an appendix, permanent fixture to the application. And or your worst case is you can prove that you sent something to them with that letter on such and such date, fixing the record of the application, showing jurisdiction is still wanting, them not being able to use that application against you in a future record, thus allowing for you to still carry, even though I know you have the unalienable God-given right to carry. This will still give you the ability to carry with a concealed weapons permit in the state of Colorado where you fixed the signature. So simply ask Alice for a copy of that letter. Once this is all done, we will go back to our rights for constitutional carry. Or do you have any documents regarding this lawful process? Yeah, I addressed that. Are we looking at being locked into the land and unable to travel abroad due to current rulings or potential legislation, even if we are in the private? I don't want to guess that for anybody. I know that Agenda 2030 is going down that road, um, which is one of the reasons why I'm thinking a boat or more or less a ship. Um, I believe there's land in this world that is unexplored. I believe there's land in this world that is not shown on existing globes. And I believe that we can go find whatever we need to find and be off grid in water. And you need to have certain elements of community on a boat. Um, if I'm going to be landlocked, I want to have a little golf course. I want to have a little pool. I want to have, things which can make us comfortable while we are here. I want to be able to grow food, grow underground food, grow above ground food. I want to be able to have some calves to raise. You understand? I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but it's called being an American, raising cattle and your own food. And I can do it in the city that I am in. I don't think there would be any issue with that. Eventually, 2030 is going to try to come against that kind of stuff. But the reality is, I don't think they're going to have jurisdiction over the types of title that we will hold. Number one. Number two, I don't think they're going to have jurisdiction with the nature of the individual or entity that holds. So, are there going to be some people that they have themselves be forced upon? Sure. We're not getting rid of bad cops. We're not getting rid of foreign operatives that are on our land. There may be elements of military wartime stuff, but we fall under the Lieber Code and treaty acts, and we are a protected class. I'll say that. And over this next course of this year, I'm really going to get into that with you guys so you understand how protected we are. But we're not the surety and the collateral and the debtor. We're the creditor and a protected class. So you got to really know that about yourself. Next question. Does all descent require a fingerprint? I don't like the sound of that at first hearing about it. I don't know about that. I know that my descent, I can bypass the print and just put in a code. If it were me, I'd buy a Trezor as well. Specifically a Trezor Model 7. Just FYI. Next question. Is there no property tax? Is the no property tax, is that for the primary only or multiple personal properties? Any property recorded in a foundation, you can go down that road. Next question. By the way, what's up, Jeffy? Next question. I moved to Texas 3 weeks ago. By the way, guys, there are many different kinds of people on this Q&A. That one owns a jet company. Sorry, Jeffy. But we all have interest in protecting what belongs to God, what belongs to our families. We want to keep that secure and private. And it's super, super important from the highest levels all the way down to the lowest levels. We're all one people, man. and we all got it wrong, and we're all correcting the record now, and we got to figure this out and get it dialed in because some of you are going to have the ability to have vast amounts of land, and it might be a place for community in the future where we privatize that land, we make it a allodial title, nobody can come on it, kind of a thing, and where community can be built out, where food can be raised, production can happen, and we can start, living our lives in free mode in that particular region or area. So it's going to take all kinds of people to come up, and I'm asking the men that have and the women that have to consider their future and their future surroundings, because you were blessed and you have the ability to make money, whereas a lot of people don't. A lot of people are starting off with nothing and are probably going to finish with nothing. We got to figure out how to help those people too, and get them out of trouble. Just because they have no money doesn't mean they can't bring something to a table and to help themselves. We are responsible for the widows. We are responsible for the orphans. We are responsible for the women that don't have means. And that's something I want the men in this world to stand up and raise up and start doing something about. And I'm going to call them out all the way through this process because I know we are all going to have an account in a very near future. And I know I want to stand before my God and say, well done. I want to hear those words, well done, good and faithful servant. And I don't want to say I was, I had means and didn't do anything about that. It's the last thing in the world I want to hear or see myself do is step over somebody and not help them. So 2 cents. Next question. I moved to Texas 3 weeks ago. I have California title in my car. How do I sell the car to the foundation, then register the car in Texas to avoid the drama of being pulled over? You don't need to worry about avoiding the drama to be pulled over. I do know there's a lot of small town cops sometimes that'll exert their power over people on pulling them over for, having a foreign plate. Um, I don't want to say what to do, when to do, how to do it, but you can register the car in South Dakota as the foundation, and you can just tell the cop that you're driving a rental. Um, Technically you are. It's being loaned to you by God. They don't have jurisdiction over a foundation. They can't force plates on something that they don't know if you own or control. They'll never be able to know if you own or control. They'll never be able to ticket you for that. They can harass you, and we can get them off your back pretty quick, I'm sure, with a letter. Um, but having a car that you rent is one thing versus having a car that you quote unquote own. And so there might be some things, but putting a car in the name of any place, I will go to AAA to get it done and just walk it in there and just say, here's my title. I have a foundation. Here's the name. I'm the executive director. I got a tax ID number with me. What do you need to help me move my car to the foundation name? They'll just walk you right through it. Which of the crypto wallets give me total control over the words for passwords so that I get to choose any word I want? David, that's a great question. I've been looking for that. I was told Trezor does. I can't figure out the method to be able to get that done, but I was told Trezor does. Do me a favor, go to walletscrutiny.com and figure that out. I don't have the time to do the testing necessary. You want to find a 10 out of 10 wallet, and that's where it says Trezor is one of the ones that does it. I know the original model Trezor does it. The later model Trezors, including the Trezor 7 that I just got, said it doesn't. Um, but I am definitely looking for what you are asking for. I just don't have the time to complete it. Walletscrutiny.com. Do me a favor, please invest and then send Kelby at hisadvocates.org an email. Do me a favor, guys. Anybody with some questions, post your questions into the Q&A. I lost track of my email. Can't access my email right now. Can't help you to get the information that you need or your questions answered that way. So please just load your question. Thank you. Next question. I had a problem the other day when buying a gun. I put my mailing address on the FFA. Yeah, you got to put a physical home address, and you can use your mom's, whatever. But they ask for two proofs of residence generally. They refuse to give me a gun because the mailing address did not match my driver's license address. How do I solve this in the future? Jeff, buy guns in the private and make guns. Okay, that's truly the way to get it done. Any gun that goes to the FF through the FFA process is a pre-registered gun, and the FFA application in its nut shell is giving the gun control and authority to the DOJ. So those numbers that are printed on Glocks are preset and given to the DOJ, but you can buy a Glock, and there's many places where you can buy a Glock right now, an 80/20, and there are many people that can build the Glock, carve out the rest on the lower, and build it out, and you can put the upper, put it together in about 2 hours, and you have a ghost gun that's 100% lawful, 100% legal, no registration, that you can place into your foundation or trust or whatever you want to do. That's the way I would do it. And if you need one, I'll consider coming out to Cali or coming out to Colorado and bring one with me, and then you would build it out. But there, you can buy them online. A Glock OEM, original manufactured equipment, um, where the upper is Glock, the slide. Sorry. And build yourself a Glock. Private ghost. You can shave off any numbers that are on it because it's not registered. It's private. It's completely yours. And you can take that and put your own serial numbers on them, your whatever you want to do, and then put it into your foundation. That is a gun that can never be taken from you. No need to be reported, and 100% private. That's how I'd solve it. The second way I'd solve it is go to a private gun show and purchase it that way. But if you're needing to really, if you want to buy a gun from a gun dealer, let me know when. The bottom line is you're going to have to give a home address to where you can do two prove ups of that you live there. And it's going to be something in your name. Out here in Cali, I don't know about Colorado, something in your name, a bill that goes to that address. And it sucks, but that's the only way that you can buy a gun. And it proves what? Residency. That's why I don't buy public. Even again, I will not buy public. I went and bought four um, ghost guns. Pretty cool. Next question. In regards to the state citizen passport, does the passport need to be renewed every 10 years? Does that have an expiration date like the regular passports? Yes. Which crypto wallet will let me create its own keyword instead of coming with pre-installed key? You already asked that question, Dave. Are you asking it again? We cleared and made a 1,200 by 50 road that two other neighbors also use. The county voted that the road would be a private road, not under county care. Should I include it in the meets and bounds described or make a separate document? If the road is yours, if you bought it, even though there's an easement, you can make it yours with the meets and bounds and add the easement information for the road. You understand? I would record the entirety of the meets and bounds, including the road, because it's yours, I'm guessing. And then you have an existing easement allowing your neighbors to access through that road. So I'd record the entirety of the meets and bounds um, on the deed with uh, the road is being described as, a shared access point. What's up with XRP? Latest thoughts? Hold your balls and hang on. 2026 is going to be a great year. It's also going to be a year that you need to hang on to the testes because people are going to be challenged by them saying, oh, you're not allowed to own it, potentially. But they're coming up with a silver tax. Something happened about 8 or 9 days ago that people really need to be thinking about. EliPal offers a seed phrase generator. Jeffy, thank you. Is EliPal still have hot and cold wallets? Because remember that guy that lost 1.3 XRP on his EliPal because he didn't know how to use it. EliPal. Jeff, do me a favor, find a link on EliPal's website for that particular device and post it if you will, please. Thank you, brother. Um, Is there a receipt that I should be using to accept contributions to our foundation? Particular thing, Rich, what I would do is get familiar with ChatGPT or Gemini or one of the AIs and say, here's my foundation name. I need a contribution receipt to XYZ name, XYZ address for $50,000 for this date and this time. And here's my tax ID number. Please put a nice receipt together like that. It took me 15 seconds and it'll take 5 for it to produce the doc. You print it out, sign it, and give it to yourself or to whoever the receipt holder is. Question. My application for property tax exemption was denied. Since this technically was not an application for exemption, should I bother to attend such a hearing? App was changed to notice. What are my alternatives to appeal? Okay. So this is a big, 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 big question. But the bottom line is you said you changed the application to a notice. They have denied it. I don't know what your denial letter says. I don't know for the cause. I don't know any of that. So to answer your questions properly, I kind of need to know a little bit more information. But yes, you attend the hearing, and yes, you bring your guns, and yes, you are exempt. You're not asking for permission. You are exempt. And the elements of their questions need to be determined before, like what questions would they normally ask? And you need to have answers because you are not a nonprofit, you are tax exempt. You are a church, you are a humanitarian foundation. You should enjoy the same exemptions that XYZ. And also, you can get Supreme Court rulings in your state that would show exemptions are mandatory for all churches, even unrecorded, unregistered churches. You will find Supreme Court rulings in your state that you can enforce them to do it. If that doesn't work, then you file a suit. And there's some language and stuff that you can do in a suit that we could possibly help you out with. That's the quick version. Thank you, Jeffy. So Jeff posted the Ellie Pal words. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm also going to put it up there. Excellent. Thanks, Jeff. I'll check into that. What silver tax are you talking about? They're talking about potentially doing a 50%. Uh, let me, instead of me, let me do this. I'm going to submit a video for you guys to watch. It's a video I watched, and I think it's going to be important that you guys watch. Um, I talked about it in the meeting this morning. So if you're a VIP member or an IBO, you've already seen it. Don't worry about it. But if you're new, this is an important video for you to watch. Spend the time to watch the entire video right there. I did it in under an hour. Jonathan, watch that video. Listen, guys, we're going to be going through a lot of changes in the next year. I'm just going to ask for your changes, your prayer, your support, and anything that you guys want to do in a retirement basis or for extra work or reach out. We're going to be holding a workload meeting, and we're going to be showing you what we're trying to get accomplished, and we're going to be asking for talent and support to come and help us to get done what we need to get done. It's one of those things where we don't have a lot of time, and I really want to get this dialed in. So the majority of Americans I know are going to be hearing about this. I know people are going to be looking into what we do. And we're really the only company out there with no complaints that has the history and the track record and the knowledge of the deeds and the knowledge of the foundations and the why. The why is critical, guys, and we need to be understanding the why. One of the things on the foundation, I'm just going to post this to this side right here. Give me just a second. I want you guys to look at this doc. This is straight off the IRS website. A lot of people ask what makes our foundation exempt from filing a return. And I am about to show you. It's pretty cool. I can find it. Where is it? Let me do it this way. Give me a second. One moment, please. There it is. Nope. Okay, this is a WhatsApp image straight off the IRS website. You only need one of these to be exempt from filing a return. I want you to know something. This gives our foundation about six different places on this list of 15 of where we are exempt. And I know you all over there. I don't think I can post something over here. I'm going to try to post um, yeah, I don't think. Let me try. I'll try to post something over there real quick. Give me a sec. Documents. Yeah, I don't think I can do it over there. Hold on. Yeah, I can't. Let me download it here. Side folder. Yeah, it won't let me load it up in the chats over here. Um, hmm. So the point I'm trying to make is this is straight off the website of the IRS. People ask why private trusts. I believe private trusts, unregistered private trusts are tax exempt. I was saying that to a couple of members before. I do not believe that a registered private trust is tax exempt. I want you to take a look at this list right here on this image that I just posted. Um, Everything about our foundation does not have a requirement to file a return. Everything. And I don't even want to say we fall under 501A, but in fact, that is the best description for us because we're unregistered and we're private. But the bottom line is we are a church, we are a humanitarian effort, we are a religious organization, we are all these things. You do not have to file a return, meaning every single bit of capital that comes in, do a work for God, do your bidding, and you are exempt. And that includes property tax exempt, capital gains exempt, all of it exempt. All you have to do is fight for it. You don't have to fight for filing a return exempt because you are exempt, federal, state, all of it. God bless you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. If you dare to be on a prayer call and join us, we look forward to having you. Otherwise, Tuesday mornings, Thursday mornings, again, to the VIP members and the IBOs, we are coming through a major work together in dealing with our lives. And I know that a lot of people don't really understand the impact. I just want to suggest you get a VIP membership at a minimum. Go back to our videos and start watching what we started producing on the 2nd of January, on the 6th of January, the inspirational, motivational, because we're dealing with getting real work done as real people and changing our lives. And I'm telling you, it's good stuff. I want to affect a massive amount of people with the truth that they need to understand. They need to know who they are first, and we're affecting people in many different ways. So come get on fire with us and come join us and be a part of this. Reach out, join His Advocates VIP. I'm telling you, you couldn't find what we're offering in a VIP membership for under $1,000 a month anywhere. And I'm just excited to be able to help people out and to change lives and be a real ministry driven, ministry minded participant, changing lives in this world. And I want you guys to be a part of that. So join us at our website and try to help people, send people to hisadvocates.org. We need your help. We need people to go to hisadvocates.tv on their phone. They need to download our app. Go to hisadvocates.org and join for free. Get your family and friends just to start clicking and understanding and listening to. There's nothing wrong with them taking baby steps, or buy them a book and tell them, I dare you to read it in an hour and a half. Give them $20 to read it. Give them $30 to read it. Tell them whatever you need to tell them. This is going to change and affect them because this is truth beyond anything. And we don't want to be pressured into this system. We want to come out. We want to be obedient. We want to live our lives directly under the protections of God, especially with what they got going on. God bless you guys. Enjoy your week. I will see you Saturday morning, 9 a.m. or Monday at 4 for the next Q&A, or Tuesdays and Thursdays for the inspirational VIP motivational stuff. God bless. Have a great weekend. Enjoy.